Pilatus headquarters, Hans takes me to see more of Switzerland's old medieval towns. The Rhine River, which traverses 6 European countries, was a major trade route in the olden times. Stein am Rhein, a small town in the canton of Schaffhausen, was one of the stopping points in the trade route where travelers would disembark and unload their goods.
Stein means actually stone. That's the name of the city, and it says am Rhein, it's on the Rhine.
Because of this, the town enjoyed some prosperity, and its medieval buildings are preserved to this day.
You can see here, the houses were built in 1734, like this one. This house was 1476.
That's right.
It's really amazing how it was kept. I don't think the houses they build nowadays will last this long.
For sure. Huh?
Painted facades, timbered houses, old colorful fountains, which are all typical of Swiss architecture in the Middle Ages, can be seen here. But the reason why the trade route ended in Schaffhausen is because the river would come to a sudden drop. The Rheinfall, the largest waterfall in Europe.
Scary when you think of it.
The Rheinfall is 150 meters wide and 23 meters high. The massive falls cannot be climbed by fish, only by eels that make their way through the rocks. Boat trips can be taken up to the falls, but sometimes the water flow can be too strong. In the middle of the falls is a large rock, the Rheinfall Felsen, a remnant of the original limestone cliff from the Ice Age. It was a magnificent sight, and I was very happy to be shown around by Hans. Saying goodbye to Hans for now, I move further into the Swiss-German border to meet with an old friend, Adrian Helm. He takes me around the city of Constance, surrounded by the lake of the same name.
So this is the lake then, huh?
The whole thing is called the Bodensee, Lake Constance. And this part is what we call the Obersee, the big lake.
Yes.
Constance is a border town.
Yes.
There is a part on the Swiss side, it's called Kreuzlingen, and this part is Constance. And the border actually goes through houses. It's really, yeah. This is actually the symbol of Constance, the monastery of Constance. It's from the 15th century, you know, when Constance was a bit the center of this area.
Constance was an old Roman settlement, and the ruins of the original structures are preserved below the city. The city thrived through the Middle Ages, and traces of its past glory are seen in the architecture of the old town. It is also known for being the site of the first Zeppelin flight in 1900. While here, Adrian lets me sample some Swiss-German favorites.
Cheers, a bit for a bit. So we have three special dishes from this area.
Great.
One is wild boar. This is a speciality. I would say very this area, German, Switzerland, people hunt. This belongs to the wild boar. It's knödel. It's made out of flour and bread.
So it's not, it looked like a potato to me for a while.
Yeah, but it's not. We'll see.
This is the guy who went fishing.
Exactly. That's of course from the Bodensee, Lake Constance.
What fish is this?
This is a trout.
Good.
And then the third one is, this is a typical German dish, actually more also from Bavarian, but also here. It's Weisswurst with the sweet mustard. Yes, and the pretzel, the typical German pretzel.
We're only two, and we have to finish the three. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Yeah. How is it?
Very nice.
And this is the wild boar.
Yes, please.
Excellent. While in Constance, Adrian takes me to visit an airstrip where the Konair flight school is. I was glad to see Adrian's wife, Christine, also a good friend, to catch up with the work they were doing with the flight school.
This is Peter, our flight instructor. Especially also aerobatics is teaching. Yeah.
Of course, I was very excited to see the aircraft they kept in the hangars. Peter tells me more about the Fuji aerobatic plane.
This plane is a four-seater, so it's a little aerobatic plane. You see, you can do loops, you can do rolls and so on.
It is a single-engine, low-wing, all-metal aircraft first built in the 60s. Not long after, Adrian's new toy arrived, a speed cruiser ultralight. The aircraft has some interesting features, including a glass cockpit. It is capable of towing gliders and can also operate on floats. Taking Adrian's Speed Cruiser Ultralight and Peter taking the Fuji aerobatic airplane, we went for a short flight over Lake Constance. Adrian let me have a go on his new toy. Exactly what it felt like. A nice, responsive toy plane we can play around with. The Fuji caught up with us, and we sure couldn't outrun it. Peter was also feeling playful, and we watched him do some rolls around us. Meanwhile, Adrian and I enjoyed flying over the clouds and seeing a stunning view of the lake and the city below. Playtime was soon over, and we had to land. The Speed Cruiser was a very economical and fun airplane to train with. And with a view like that, Those students of Konair Flight School really have me envious. The flight brought back memories of my first flight over Switzerland, flying over Lake Constance with Papoose, one of my best friends, who would later marry Hans. This trip was a homecoming of sorts, bringing together years of traveling, flying, and friendship. Seeing the same places, but at different points in one's life, still creates different experiences. And I'm glad I was able to go back and make new experiences worth looking back to.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next
Meschenmoser Safari!